One of my favorite parts about running a YouTube channel, especially to the point where we have gotten on this channel now, is that I get to review this amazing, really cool technology like we're going to be taking a look at today, and I have you guys all to thank for that. Those of you guys who continue to come back, like my videos and comment, it's just really helped this channel get to the point where I've been able to achieve my dream, which is doing super cool reviews on super fun products. So I wanted just to start out by saying thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel and liked my videos and commented down below because it means so much. So here's what we're doing today. We are reviewing a gimbal by INKEE. It is the Falcon gimbal, and this thing is made for action cameras. So the questions we're gonna be looking at today is, do you actually need a gimbal on today's action cameras? How do these things work? Where do they come from? We're gonna take a look at that here in just a second. So first off, what is a gimbal and why do you need one? Why do people buy them? Well, the idea of a gimbal is it takes away so much of your handshake and that jerky motions when you're trying to get those cinematic shots. It allows you to get really cool, sweeping, moving, nice shots, but it's not quite that simple. Now, it doesn't eliminate handshake, and that's what people need to understand is you can still see my phone is still going up and down on this phone gimbal, which is not at all like the gimbal we're looking at today. But what it does do is it helps eliminate all the hand movement like this. It keeps the phone pretty darn stable while my hand is moving around, but it does not completely eliminate this, so you have to kind of learn how to move still while using a gimbal. So first off, let's take a look and see what comes inside the box when you order this thing. So first off, it comes with this nice little tripod that screws into the bottom of the gimbal, allowing you to mount this wherever to get those really nice shots and offer a lot of stability. You get a USB-C cord, some Allen wrenches for adjusting the balance, as well as some extra screws, a carrying bag for it, as well as the hero of the show, the actual gimbal itself. Now here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna spend some time talking about the gimbal, what makes this thing what it is, what are some cool features of this insanely cool little toy here, and then at the end of the video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut right to a bunch of footage that I took with this gimbal so you can see how this thing actually works, and I'm going to compare it to not using a gimbal, using in-camera stabilization versus no camera stabilization and using the gimbal. I'm going to talk to you more about why they're different and what the pros and cons are at the end of this video. So first off, the handle is all plastic, allowing it to be super light because light is good when it comes to something you're going to be holding a bunch. The top part, the actual gimbal mechanism, is aluminum alloy. It works with most action cameras, but today we're going to be testing this out with the Insta360 One R, as well as a series of GoPros such as the GoPro Hero 7, 9, and 10. Now to mount the GoPro is very simple. First we're going to put on the tripod so we can get this thing stabilized. Then on the GoPro Hero 9 and 10, you have these nice little tabs you can just kind of pull out here that you can use to mount it. You of course also have a case over here for the GoPros, as well as a case here for the Insta360 One R that also work perfectly here with this gimbal. So when you're ready to install the camera, all you have to do, and it's so easy, is you just take the little GoPro mount here, put it into the pre-made slot already a part of the gimbal. Then you take the little screw that it comes with, so this comes with the gimbal, and you just simply screw it right here into the gimbal itself. Now I've already adjusted mine so it's level to work with the GoPro, but if yours looks something like this after you've put it on, all you have to do is come in right here with the Allen wrenches that are provided to that little screw, adjust the GoPro this way or that way to make it all level up, as well as back here you can see these other screws. All you have to do is adjust those to make the whole thing level. So that's basically level enough for me. The GoPro charges right here on the handle by USB-C, so you can charge this thing pretty much anywhere, and it's going to charge at a very fast pace. And at a full charge, it's got a huge battery. It will last almost 9 hours. And another neat thing about this gimbal is it will actually run while plugged in. Another really cool thing about connecting it to a GoPro is that it can actually connect using Bluetooth to the GoPro itself. So you can tell it to record, stop recording, take a time shot, or take a picture right from the buttons on the gimbal. Also, one thing that I found was kind of cool, and I say kind of because it doesn't always work consistently, is that when you power up the gimbal, when it's connected to the GoPro, it will also power up the GoPro as well as turn it off. So for example, I'll power on the gimbal. Now the gimbal is powered on, and there you go. You just heard the actual GoPro power on as well. So you can see it's turned on right there. Pretty cool, huh? So while it's connected here, I can hit the record button right here, and now the GoPro has started recording. And one thing that I found really interesting is that when you take this gimbal over here we're looking at today and compare it to one of the top of the line gimbals out there, the DJI gimbal, this guy is actually faster, which is a really big deal. For example, watch this. If I take them both and turn them on at the same time, watch what happens. This was done seconds before this one actually was. Maybe a whole second and a half faster. One thing I noticed about the motors on this gimbal as well is that they're absolutely silent. Watch this. We pull my mic down here right next to the gimbal, okay? Watch this, you can't even hear it. It's just nothing. Absolutely, completely silent as it spins. Another thing that I found very interesting and super cool is that the gimbal here, the INKEE one, can do a full 360, whereas the DJI and most of the other gimbals I have tested can only go around, I don't know, about 3/4 of the way. Watch this. If I tell them both to start turning, watch what happens. The INKEE one, the Falcon we're reviewing today, goes all the way around. But when the DJI one gets halfway, see, it's totally stopped right there. Whereas here the other one, it's still going. The Falcon is still spinning. Now, the speed, don't worry about that. Both of these can be completely adjusted, and on my DJI, I have it turned really, really low. However, while messing with this INKEE one, I found that it is incredibly smooth, even smoother than most of the gimbals I have tested, and that was actually really impressive. So the gimbal is silent, it spins all the way around, making for some really neat shots, as well as it's completely smooth while using this little joystick. How cool is that? So now the gimbal comes with a couple different modes, and you can see right here there's an M button, and that M button controls the different modes that it's in. For example, if I'm taking a shot like this and I'm moving the camera around and I'm like, you know, I'd really like to get this in a vertical shot, if I double tap the M button, it's gonna turn it into vertical mode. So that is super cool to be in vertical mode, because let's say that I'm doing a social media, I don't know, like a reel or Pinterest or something, and I want to get a nice shot like that. Well, now I can be holding the gimbal like this, and it's going to stay right there in that nice vertical mode to capture those kind of shots. So one thing that is really nice about a gimbal is watch what happens when I stop moving the gimbal. The camera still continues to turn a little bit more, rounding out those shots, making for really nice smooth movements and transitions. Another thing that is really cool about gimbals is that right now you can see that as I move the gimbal around, the camera is moving like we just looked at. But let's say I want to keep it focused directly in front of me on a certain object. For now, we'll say my main camera. All I have to do is take it right here. You see this little trigger button right here? All I have to do is press and hold my finger on it, watch this, and now I can move the gimbal all around, and you can see that the camera is going to stay pointed in the same direction and not change, even though I'm moving the gimbal back and forward. Again, I let go of it, and there it goes. It starts turning, and then I press it, and now I can turn again, and it's going to lock it directly in that direction. Now, if I single press the M again, it'll go into what's called flashlight mode. I can adjust the joystick so I point in the direction I want, but now it's that cool shot like you're holding a flashlight out, and you can see that the camera is just gonna hold itself right in front. So if you're walking forward and you wanna just not worry about your hand, all you have to do is try to be smooth with your movements up and down, and it's gonna keep the camera locked forward in that direction. Or if you're doing a panning shot, you let go of the trigger, and you can really just make some nice shots directly in front of you there. Two hands here on the gimbal, and you can just really have some fun making some really nice shots right out there in front of you. Now, one really neat feature about this trigger is that anytime, wherever you are, wherever the camera is facing, however weird the gimbal is looking, anytime you double press that trigger, it's going to put it right back to its default mode. So watch this. Finger on here, double press. And look at how fast that is. So you might be doing some really cool shots, and then all of a sudden, you're like, well, I want to get ready for my next shot. No problem, it's over here, just double tap. It's gonna realign itself and it's back super fast. One of the fastest I've ever seen. Now, another thing that is really cool is if you are a vlogger, all you have to do is triple press on the trigger, and the camera turns around, and now you're vlogging, and you got this nice stable camera way of holding it. It's going to keep it nice and horizon centered. Really, really great. And so you have that now all set, and when you're done, just double press again. It's going to quickly turn back around to your other shots. So you can be showing something, check out my new car, check out the scenery, triple press, come right back to you, continue vlogging, talking about it. Want to see that shot again? Double press again. It's going to go back to the other shot. Super cool. So there's a couple different modes here that come on the camera. The first one is called pan follow, and this keeps the camera locked on the horizon and the vertical. So for example, if I hold the camera and I try to tilt it to like this to the side, you see it doesn't do that, it keeps the horizon. just as same as if I go up and down, doesn't matter. It's gonna keep the camera perfectly flat. So it just kind of locks the camera in place. I can spin the gimbal and look at a different location, and to avoid that, again, you just press and hold down the trigger, and then you can't even do that. But pan follow allows you to basically keep it looking the same direction, move the gimbal any way you want, up, down, twist it, whatever, and it's going to keep the gimbal looking that direction. Now press the button again and it goes to horizon lock, which means now if I go like this, it's going to keep it on the horizon. However, if I want to look down or look up, the camera will actually follow and allow me to do that. So I'm taking a shot out there, something scenic, or doing some kind of like a raising cinematic shot on a project or my car or something, that's fine. I want to keep the horizon level, okay? However, I want to be able to point down and come up. That's a really useful mode. The next one is first person view. If you press the mode button again, that's going to allow you to actually tilt it sideways both directions. It's still going to round out those corners as you go forward and backwards, left and right. So this is going to be a lot like if you're trying to get that like flying in an airplane look, you're going down a trail or something and you wanted to show all the different turns, which is really cool to do sometimes, but it's going to round it out and make it a lot smoother. And the last mode showing here is that flashlight mode, where again we double tapped and it went over here to vertical mode. So that's that flashlight mode. You know, another thing I'll point out too on this mode here, so we're sitting here in flashlight mode, and you can see that because this gimbal can do a full 360 spin, what's really cool about it is you don't have to worry about where you are at when you're holding it in terms of how far it can spin. So I can take this and do a full spin with my wrist like this, and it's gonna still keep the camera perfectly straight up and down. So one thing that is really cool is that they actually have an app that connects here with the Falcon. On that app, you can update the firmware, you can change the working mode. So for example, if you want to go to flashlight mode, you can click that and it'll go to flashlight mode. So you can see right there, there's flashlight mode, all nice and ready to go. I can change it back to horizon lock. You can change the motor response, so I have it right here set at the middle speed, so that's the gimbal, and the motor's how fast they're working. You can change the joystick speed, so when you're going to take your thumb here and move around the gimbal, move the camera from side to side, up and down, how fast you want that to go can be controlled right here. So right here you have slow, so you can see how slow is going, and right here you have fast, and there's how fast is going, which is insanely fast for a gimbal, the fastest I have ever seen, especially for one so smooth. And one of the coolest things about this is that you can actually come in here to control, and you can actually completely control this thing directly here from the app. And the reason why that is really cool is because let's say you have it set up somewhere, maybe you're taking some footage of the stars, or you have it set up on a tripod really high somewhere and you're recording what's going on outside. Well, you don't have to get all the way up to that gimbal to control it. You can take it right here. So you can hit the little arrows on the bottom to realign it like that. Or what you can do is you can come down here to the actual joystick itself right here on the app. So watch when I turn it to the left here. See how the gimbal starts moving really slowly? And when I press all the way, it goes much quicker at the full speed. Go up and down, down again, super responsive left and right. I don't notice any delay here at all. And on the very top, you can choose the modes again. You can take a photo, record a video, or do a time lapse. So that is a really cool feature. So before we go out there and get a bunch of different footage, let's talk a little bit about why get an actual gimbal. Well, first of all, these action cameras use internal stabilization. Software is actually making them stabilize. So what it's actually doing is it's cropping down your image. So if you think you're taking a 4K video, what it actually does if you have the stabilization turned on in these cameras is it makes it less, a smaller resolution, lower resolution, to actually make up for all the movement inside the camera. So you're not actually getting the full resolution inside of your action camera by not using a gimbal. But if you're actually using a gimbal, you can turn off the internal stabilization and have it all in here inside the camera. We're gonna do some comparisons here in just a minute to see what that actually looks like. Also, to make this footage look good inside of an action camera, you need a ton of different light. So doing any kind of recording in low light settings or at night is very difficult to get really good quality stable footage. But on a gimbal, it doesn't matter because the gimbals do not care if it is dark or light out. So it's enough talking about it. Let's go get a whole bunch of footage and you can really see what the differences are and why a gimbal sometimes makes sense. So now if you want to try one of these things out, I'll leave all the information for this specific gimbal down below in the description. Any discounts and links will be right down there based on the time that you're watching this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.